Hi everyone. This video is walking you guys through your first essay assignment. In this very short unit, you guys have been introduced to a few different texts from different perspectives and voices from the early settler period. So these works kind of help set the framework for what will become our burgeoning American history and identity. So, what you're going to do is choose one of the works that you read in this unit, develop a literary analysis of that work using the literary elements that you've seen and discussed to help guide your analysis, whether that's characterization or conflict or syntax, etc. You'll want to make sure that you incorporate some elements related to the biography or historical elements and how that historical impact was seen. So, for example, why, for example, is it important that we read Columbus's letters and see how he talked about the native people or the land, or how he portrayed his experiences to Ferdinand and Isabella? Why is it important that we have Anne Bradstreet's perspective of gender dynamics or domestic life? Or the role, just to get the understanding of the role of a woman in Puritan society. Why is this important, right? So you're going to think about the political, social, economic, and or philosophical changes that were taking place as this new identity was being formed with these early settlers. So make sure that most importantly, you are thinking about this as a piece of literature and you're analyzing it as a piece of literature. What I don't want to see is a biography essay or a history essay. I want you to make sure that you're diving into the text, analyzing the text itself, and then from there, looking at why this matters from a larger historical and literary perspective. So some things that you can consider. How does the work influence or impact the changes taking place in America from a social, political, or economic standpoint? How does the author and work fit or not fit with this new quote unquote American identity? How does the author help shape these American ideals? And then how does the author approach certain subject matter? So, for example, you have a very different approach between De Vaca and Columbus on how they spoke about the native people. With Anne Bradstreet, you're getting a very unique perspective that's very intimate about family dynamics and life and her relationship with her husband. Why does that matter? Why is it unique that we get that perspective? And then how does the work, say, achieve a particular goal or message? So, for example, Columbus's work, what kind of goal was he trying to achieve, and how he wrote these letters to Ferdinand and Isabella? Why did he write them the way that he did? Same with De Vaca, same with Bradstreet. Her works were private; they were private poetry. Why is that a unique perspective that we have then? So your essay needs to have essentially all the parts of an essay of a strong argument. So there is a video that's going to walk you guys through how to write literary analysis. I want you to pay attention to that video very clearly, but make sure that you do have an introduction with a clear thesis claim. Your body paragraph should have clear main ideas and good analysis around the text, supported by specific evidence from the text. So what that means is you're pulling in specific words or phrases from the text that show your audience what you're talking about. So for example, if I'm talking about Columbus and how he uses personal pronouns throughout his argument to make it very centric to himself, I would pull in a couple of quotes that show the audience that where he's using the word "I did this" or "this was my idea" or whatever it might be. With Bradstreet, for example, if I'm talking about, say, the importance of her, I don't know, use of allusions or a certain rhyme scheme, I would then pull in specific quotes that show the audience what I'm talking about. That's how you back up your claims, and that's how you prove to your audience what your argument is. So make sure again that you are pulling in evidence specifically from the text. I've also said you can pull in outside sources if you like. You do not have to. That's not required for this essay. But if you do choose to use outside sources, please use credible ones. So don't use things like 123helpme.com. Instead, use like a .edu or PBS or something like that. So your essay needs to be 1.5 to 2 pages in length and is due by Sunday, July 7th at 11:59 p.m. That means you have to write to the middle of the second page at minimum. You can always write more. You just can't write less. If you write less, you will have points taken off. And remember that everything has to be MLA formatted. So that means at the top left corner, you will have your name, the instructor's name, the date, and the course and section number. You'll have a page number in the top right, a title, and everything must be 1-inch margins all around, size 12 point font, Times New Roman, Calibri, Cambria, or Arial. Um, and remember that everything, of course, is checked for plagiarism. You guys have access to the plagiarism reports pretty much immediately after you submit your assignments. So you'll be able to see what I see. Remember that it also does check for AI. You will be you will be assessed on the criteria of making sure you have good, close analysis of the literary work and its concepts, as well as secondarily, the historical context or the biography. Again, like I said, make sure this above all else a literary essay. Do not let this become a biography or a history essay. Use lots of concrete evidence to support your claims from the primary and any secondary resources you choose to use. Proper page length, MLA, and citations. Remember that you do have to cite in text as well as on a bibliography. Forgive me. And on that note, make sure you do include a bibliography that at least has the text that you are analyzing on it. And then have a fully developed essay structure, like I said, and good organization of all your ideas. Make sure that you are carefully organizing this for your audience. Okay, so some ideas that you can think about as far as literary elements when it comes to your analysis. Again, this is far too much to do for all of these works. You need to choose one or two primary ones. But you can think about characterization. So you can think about things like archetypes. Are they protagonists, antagonists? Are they primary or secondary characters? Are they developed, flat, round, static, dynamic? Think about literary devices. So things like similes, metaphors, personification, flashbacks, structures. You can think about the dramatic arc. You can think about the conflict. So this could be man versus man versus society. Think about the solution or resolution of the denouement. And then look at the point of view. If it's written from first person omniscient or first person, I should say, or third person limited omniscient or third person omniscient, why does that matter? And then look at the literary concepts, so things like themes, symbols, motifs, allusions. And like I said, secondarily, look at the historical context. So think about the author's biography, the work itself. Why is it impactful? What are the historical events surrounding it? And what are the issues discussed? So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, go ahead and move on. And don't forget to submit this by the deadline. Thanks.